Hey, welcome back to the channel. Austin here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the 5 best passive income investments. This is a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time because it is going straight to the bottom line of investments that you can look at and get into that are extremely good for passive income and creating passive income. Not to mention, obviously, your investment going up over time by just simply being invested in the investments I'm going to be talking to you about. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and definitely take some notes because this one is a good one, and I'm really looking forward to bringing this one to you because it's going to be some really great stuff. I've got notes here, so if you see me looking down, I want to make sure that I give you all the content that I promised you. Okay, so if you're brand new here, if you've never seen me before, please consider subscribing to the channel because I bring you videos every single day, pretty much having to do with how you can do more with your money and just simply make more money through investing, managing your money better, things like that. Also, please, if you would, hit that like button down below. It really helps my channel out. So what are the top 5 passive income investments? By the way, these are in no particular order, so number 1 is not better than number 5. So I just want to get that up front. Also, before I get into this video is for entertainment purposes only. That's my disclaimer. I am not a stockbroker, so if you're going to do some investments, definitely you should check with one of those guys or gals before you make some financial decisions. Okay, so the 5 best passive income investments. Starting off, number 1, dividend stocks. Dividend stocks are absolutely one of the single best passive income investments. This is investing in individual stocks such as 3M, maybe another one like AbbVie or AT&T. Those are 3 specific examples that I pulled for you. To give you some perspective, 3M is producing a dividend of 4.03%. AbbVie is producing a dividend of 4.77%, and AT&T is producing a dividend of 7%. So these dividends are usually, they're absolutely paid out to you as an investor. So you're getting dividend payments. This is payment going directly, most likely, into your brokerage accounts. Some of them cut checks, things like that. But that is a great passive income investment, is investing in individual dividend stocks. Okay, so but if you don't want to invest in individual dividend stocks, because remember, investing in individual stocks, you have the potential to have really great upside, but you also have the potential, because you're invested in that one stock, to potentially, what happens if something happens to the market, things like that. Your individual investment in that stock can go down. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm invested in individual stocks. I own dividend stocks. In fact, I own AT&T. I own AT&T because I use them as my cell carrier, and they're a great company. The stock's done, pretty well over time, and it's a dividend stock, right? Okay, so again, where I was leading up to with that is if you don't want to invest in individual dividend stocks, you can invest in dividend trusts or ETFs, right? Exchange traded funds. Okay, so dividend trusts like ETFs are a great way to invest in dividends, but to be in that ETF trust, or that fund, in that ETF fund, and then you have the benefit of being in a fund that has hundreds of individual dividend stocks in it, right? So number 1, you're going to get those dividend payments for those stocks that are in the fund, as well as you're going to have the added benefit of being in a fund. And being in a fund, you have less risk. ETFs you can get in and out of daily. They trade daily. So there's really no problem with that. You're not locked into them for the long term. Now, I will tell you this. I always say this, but consider, if you're going to get into ETFs, things like that, invest in them in the long haul, right? Be invested in that ETF for 2, 4, 5, 10 plus years. These are long-term investment ideas. Remember, this video is passive income, so it's really talking about more about how you're making money while you're invested in that particular investment, right? Okay, so that was the second one, dividend trust. By the way, an example of a dividend trust is I'm looking down because I want to get this right, is the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF. The Vanguard Appreciation ETF. It has over $50 billion in the fund, and there's 180 top dividend stocks in this fund. Okay, so that's a great one that, again, you're going to get dividends from all of those companies that are in the fund. So that was dividend trusts. Okay, the third passive income investment idea for you is real estate investment trusts, okay, REITs. They pay out 90% of their taxable income as dividends to investors. That's really impressive. They pay out 90%. Now, obviously, you're invested in the REIT itself, so you have value there. And if you're looking at maybe investing in real estate, REITs are a really, really good way to do that without having your money in individual, real estate pieces of real estate, right? So let's say that you don't have enough money to invest in individual real estate, maybe rental homes, things like that, then REITs are a really, really good way to put some money in the real estate market and, again, have less exposure, less risk. Obviously, these pay out, REITs pay out dividend income to the investors in the REIT, so you're good there, right? So you are covered in that capacity. And so REITs are a very, very, very good passive income investment if you want to be in the real estate market and you don't have enough money per se to be able to put down on rental income or have a lot of real estate holdings or things like that. Okay. So speaking of real estate, the fourth passive income investment idea is, of course, real estate, right? Now, this is outside of the investment market per se, right? It's investing in individual real estate. Now, one that comes to mind, I've already mentioned it a couple times, is rental properties. Rental properties, depending upon what market you're looking at, you're going to have the added benefit of owning the rental property. The rental property is appreciating over time. And obviously, you're getting paid rental income off of that, and there is your passive income. As long as obviously your rental income exceeds what you're paying for the particular piece of property, right? So real estate is a very, very good passive income investment idea. The only real problem with real estate is, historically, you're going to have 20% down to put down on whatever you're looking, whatever piece of real estate you're looking to buy. So if you're looking at maybe a $200,000 house. To buy maybe as a piece of rental income, you're going to have to come up with $40,000 to put down on that particular rental income house, and then you're looking at getting and again trying to make sure that the rent covers the mortgage and things like that. With rental income, with rental properties, I apologize. You've got to make sure that you've got money there to kind of fix the house, and maybe if plumbing leaks, things like that, you have to pretty much take care of those as the landlord, right? So there are some downside to owning real estate. But again, real estate is a really, really great investment idea if it's right for you, if it kind of fits your investing portfolio and kind of what you want to do, okay? All right, the fifth and final passive income investment idea is index funds. Index funds, I did a video the other day. There's a video down below in the description. You can check that out. Index funds are a fantastic way to have passive income and be into investing. Right now, there's this particular one, index funds. It's not a dividend payment in the example I'm going to give you. So this is not throwing off dividend, but it's more of I threw it in here to basically talk about more of the passive investing idea, right? There's really two types of investors. There's active investors and there's passive investors. Active investors are in the market every day or daily, weekly, and they're kind of trading and buying stocks and selling and buying. And then there's more of the passive investor looking at maybe being into index funds, ETF funds. I've already mentioned, ETF funds in the capacity of dividend ETFs, but I really wanted to bring home as the final one for this video is index funds. Index funds are simply funds that are built to track two major indexes like the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500. So the example I've got for you is one that I personally am in. It's the SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust. It's been around since 1993. It has hundreds of billions of dollars invested in it. It's really the kind of the first index fund that really started all the index fund. The rest of them came after, if you would. So index funds are a fantastic way to be if you are a passive investor or you want investments in passive investments like ETFs or index funds. Index funds are probably hands down the single best passive income passive investment. They don't produce dividend income. Sorry, I said that wrong. But they're a passive investment, right? Warren Buffett and a lot of guys like him, a lot of guys and gals like him talk about index funds. Index funds are fantastic because there's no really low expenses associated with managing them. So when you go, like for example, and you go get into this one, you're not going to spend a lot of money in expense fees and management fees to be in the index itself, in the index fund itself, okay? So there you go, wrapping up. There are your 5 best passive income investments, really 4 passive income, because the 4 I mentioned previously produce passive income. The 5th one, index funds, doesn't produce passive income. It doesn't pay out dividends, things like that, but it does allow you as a passive investor to be invested in really, really, really great funds that produce returns over time. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please smash that like button for me if you would. It helps my channel out. And until later, I'll see you in the next video.